All right, this last example is huge because notice what they give you. This is find an equation of a line that contains point A, which is negative 2, 1, and B, 2, 3 in the most convenient form, and then in slope-intercept form. Well, if slope-intercept form is mentioned second, what's going to be the most convenient form? Point-slope. Anytime you're given 2 points, use point-slope. And that's like the bottom ones on your homework. So here's where you're going to need to read directions carefully. I think from 28 to 33 you have to change it to slope-intercept form. But to do that you need a slope. I have points, great, but I need slope. So I'm going to call these, I'm going to go x2, y2 here, and I'm going to call these x1, y1. Now I'm going to find slope first. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's why we did all the slopes the other day. So y2 is 1 minus y1, which is 3, over negative 2 minus 2. So that's a negative 2 over a negative 4, which is a positive 1/2. Now that's my slope. Now the cool thing is pick the point that you like. I normally pick the ones that don't have negatives in it, but that's just because I don't like having to worry about negative signs. And then I'm going to plug it into point slope form. Watch when I do this. Make sure you put the y1s and x1s in the right spot. So y minus y1, which is 3, equals my slope, which is 1/2. And I go times the quantity x minus 2. There is your equation of the line. Now it wants you to change it to slope-intercept form. So to do that, you have to distribute your 1/2. So let me rewrite that over here. So I'm going to multiply it to each one. So I get y minus 3 equals 1/2 x minus 1. Add 3 to both sides. Y equals 1/2 x plus 2. There's your slope-intercept form. Now, some of you are like, well, can I choose my other point for slope, point-slope form? Yeah. You actually could have had y minus 1 equals 1/2 times the quantity x plus 2. And I would have accepted that for an answer for the most convenient or efficient form. Now, a few things I want to remind you, just be very careful when you're working with these. A few people are struggling with when to use which ones. But let me remind you, ask yourself the question. You ask the question, what info am I given? And that will dictate which one you're going to use, okay? And that's really simple. So let me do an example from the worksheet. Okay, first one, number 18. You're supposed to write an equation of a line, and you're given the slope of a negative 1/2, and you're given a point, in this case 4, 3. So what do you have? You have a slope and a point. So which form are you going to use? You're going to use point slope. And I'm even going to put x1, y1 over this so I can plug it in. So we put our form down, y minus y1 equals our slope times x minus x1. So y minus 3 equals a negative 1/2 times the quantity x minus 4. That's all you have to do. Simple as that. Then, what if we have one like number 26? Now, number 26, you have the point negative 2, 1, and 5, negative 3. You're given 2 points. So I have points, but I have what? No slope. But then you ask yourself the question, can I find the slope? Yeah. So you first find the slope. So I'm going to go m is equal to, change in y, so I'm going to go this direction, negative 3 minus 1 over 5 minus a negative 2. So it's a negative 4 over 7. So we're just going to leave it that way. Then use any point. Like I said, I don't like negatives, but I don't really have a choice here. So why don't we let this first one be our x1, y1 first, okay? So x, y1, x1. So I plug it into our form, point slope, because now we have our slope at either point. I'm going to go y minus y1, so I'm going to use the first one, y minus 1 equals my slope, negative 4/7 times the quantity x minus a negative 2. I don't want the subtracting negative 2 in there. I want that gone. So I'm going to sit there and go x plus 2. That's one form. But if you like the other form, you just use the other point. Not other form, excuse me, other point, use it. Y minus y1, well, that'd be subtracting a negative 3. Our slope is a negative 4/7, and it would be x minus x1, which would be 5. So then that turns into y plus 3 equals a negative 4/7 times the quantity x minus 5. Now, please hear me on this. You only have to give me one answer. I know that there's two different choices, so you only have to give me one, though. So hopefully this gives you some hints on how to do these. I'm looking real forward to seeing how you do.